like to get everybody on film, give everybody an opportunity to compete. We'll have some of the twos run with the ones. We'll have some of the threes run with the twos. Whoever we think is in a competitive situation. So, and then we'll put the ball in all kinds of different situations, so we get everything on tape. Short yardage, goal line, backed up. There'll be a 2-minute period, that type of thing.
Does a scrimmage count more than a practice, Sal, in terms of how you view?
It does. It does. Not that they should have anxiety, but it should feel like a test. And we're trying to get them to perform, to free up and trust their technique and trust what they've learned and go out there and perform and execute. And it should feel different. It should feel different when they prepare tonight. It should feel different when they come over in the morning. And right down to we put uniforms on them just to make sure they know it is different.
That said, is it good to get a good gauge of the kickers when they have that kind of pressure on them?
Correct. We won't punt tomorrow, but we will kick placements. And it's important, because obviously if you're backed up and you drive the ball 80 yards, you deserve to finish with points. So it's important for the offense. It's important for us to see the operation, and clearly we want to make sure that the kickers perform under duress.
Do you want to make a decision on the kickers as well after the second scrimmage?
Yes.
Have you decided on that?
Same thing. Okay. Again, right now Bots is doing really well from a punting standpoint. I think anybody that has watched him just in the early work here could see that. Hoping that someone will come up and really challenge him here in the next 10 days. And the kickoff and placement's just really too close to call right now.
I guess you have some commitments and maybe some recruits coming out tomorrow. What do you hope they've learned about the program and the coaching staff just from watching on at the scrimmage?
Well, it's a lot of coaches don't want to do that because it's really, you really don't have control over everything. But for us, we want them to see who we are, how we coach, how our team reacts, all those things. It will be about as close as you can get to actually being here as a student athlete, because it's very real. It's not like we're over there talking to them every minute of the day. We're out there coaching. We're running the scrimmage, and they're watching. They'll have a chance to meet some players, have a meal with the guys, get around our deans and professors, and be around our student athletes, which will be good.
Since you don't have the benefit of preseason games, talk about the benefit to your staff as far as communication, getting the plays in, all that stuff.
Yeah, great question. We'll have a full game day operation tomorrow. So that means we won't be up in the booths or whatever, but we will be up in lifts as offense and defensive staffs, and I want it to sound exactly the way it will sound, from the spotter upstairs to the coordinator, and then clearly I'll have communication with the coordinator on both sides throughout. So I think it will be very important that we get that in.
What were you looking at? Following up on that, how much, I guess, playbook worthy is it going to be compared to game day? Is it going to be similar so the guys have to recall on the fly?
Yeah, I think the thing that's been most impressive about this training camp is our systems are in. We had an 8-day aggressive install, and you can't do that with a team that really didn't prepare or study independently over the summer. So the kids gave us an opportunity to do that. We have most of it in. We're actually scaling back for the scrimmage, and then we'll go right back and try to refine some things next week. So there'll be a limited package. We don't really want a lot of MEs and that type of thing, mental errors, excuse me. We don't want a lot of moving parts. We want them to go out and see who's improved.
I know a couple guys are nicked up, and there's some guys that will be held out.
Who will be held out of the scrimmage tomorrow? Blake Ailes will be held out. Chase Ford will be held out. I don't know of anybody else right now that will be held out of the scrimmage as we sit here today. There might be some things that linger that I'm not aware of right now, but as of right now, I think we'll be pretty good.
Chicola's good to go? Chicola?
Everything that I've heard is that he'll be fine.
Are any of those situations long-term or no, just more day-to-day?
Oh, day-to-day, yeah. Again, if it looks like it's going to be a long-term thing, like Cheyenne, and again, or Chantrell, we'll let you know. I was surprised at what Marcus Forston has done and continues to do. Again, it's to the point now where I'm giving him a day off as opposed to. So he's been tremendous.
How you decided this fall not to allow the freshmen to talk? Can you just talk about that decision
Well, I mean, it's not really that I'm not allowing them to talk. I'm just trying to let them get in. This is a grind. They literally the last day they had summer school, they started camp. So, you know, I haven't really talked to Chris about it, but I'm sure we'll sit down and give you access before we get going here. But just this first week was just too much. It was too much. Every minute they have, they're either with a position coach or trying to learn the playbook. And I think you guys know that I like the freshman class, and really all but one or two are going to be playing for us in some capacity. They're really all in the mix right now, which is good.
With the scrimmage tomorrow, what were you looking for out of the quarterbacks, or what would you like to see out of them?
Well, you know, that hasn't changed. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm getting trick questions because everybody asks me the same thing, and I feel like I give the same answer. But obviously, completion percentage is important. You know, distributing the football is important. Decision making is important. And, you know, obviously the biggest thing, if we don't fix turnovers, that's going to be critical. But you got to run your team. You know, we got to see a manager out there. We got to see a leader. And we need guys that move the ball and create on the run and make some plays that are beyond the design.